What's up, guys? Welcome back to ManCave Collectible Reviews, coming at you today with another figure review. Today we're coming at you with one I'm very excited about. We've got Gargoyles DEMONA. This is a new action figure line produced by Neca. If you're not familiar with this figure, their original figure was Goliath, which we'll take a look at him here shortly in some comparison. This is the second offering from the Gargoyles line from Neca Toys. This is a figure that is just now starting to hit at your local Target, so get out on the hunt. We found her just recently on a toy hunt that I actually was not filming. If you're not familiar with the channel, we do a lot of toy hunts on this channel. Sometimes I find my best finds when I actually don't have the camera on, and she was one of them. So really excited to bring this review to you guys very early on in her release. Let's take a quick look at the box. Amazing artwork here on the box. Obviously, we've got DEMONA, or DEMONA, however you want to pronounce it is fine with me. And I can't remember right off the top of my head how they pronounce it in the cartoon, even though I just recently watched the whole first season of Gargoyles. But really nice artwork here on the front. Got the cityscape in the back. Gargoyles big in the front there. As we look at the top of the box, we've got Gargoyles along with her name. A little bit of Disney branding as well. Spinning on around to the side, we do have a product image of DEMONA there. On the other side of the box, more product imaging. And then around to the back, we've got additional product imaging, just showing some of her accessories and how she can hold them, along with Goliath and some of the other future offerings that we have there in the way of Lexington, Hudson, Brooklyn, and Broadway. So really excited about those. It's kind of interesting. Bronx was one of the early ones that we got production images of, but he is not shown down here at the bottom of the box. So kind of interesting there. I don't know if that means has he been delayed or what's going on there, but whatever order they come out doesn't matter to me, just so we get all of them, including Bronx, as Bronx was probably my second favorite there behind Brooklyn. So we'll see how they kind of roll out as they continue to be released. So as with Goliath, you do have the option here of opening the front of these and revealing the actual figure inside. So you have a real nice product image here of DEMONA there, and then you have a nice window package here that you can see her very clearly with all of her accessories there as well. So I really like when they do this. Obviously for inbox collectors, guys that want to show these off in box, it makes it a little bit tougher because obviously you got to take up a lot more shelf space in order to open this up and display it this way on your shelf. I guess if you really wanted to, you could always cut off the front flap. This is a really nice look if you were to display it this way. Let's go ahead and crack this box open and see what we got. All right, guys, so we got DEMONA out of her packaging and on the review table, and let me tell you right out of the gate, well done, Neca. Also, I want to give a shout out to my boy Ryan for providing me with a Neca figure stand. If you've messed with Goliath at all, you'll know these guys are very tough to get them to stand on their own without their tail. So I want to show you the tail before I put the tail on her, so the figure stands work perfectly. If you've not ever used any of these figure stands, I just recently was given some by a friend, and they are really fantastic for a lot of these Neca figures that are a little bit tough to stand on their own. Now, I think she's gonna stand fine once we get her tail on her. Obviously the wings make her top heavy, so you could always use a figure stand as kind of a backup. So just a little FYI there from ManCave Collectible Reviews. Let's jump into the accessories that DEMONA comes with. So right out of the gate, we got her tail. This is a bendy wire tail. So you're able to bend it, mold it, make it do whatever you want it to do. Very important for these figures because this is what actually really keeps Goliath standing on his own, and he can stand on his own. That is a really cool feature that Neca added to these figures. So we got the bendy wire tail, looks really good. We'll put that on in a second. We got one of a couple of blasters that she comes with. This blaster looks fantastic. Nicely painted, nicely sculpted. Got the scope on it, brown paint on the barrel. Got a real nice, almost like, I want you to be able to see this, but it has like almost like some worn areas on it. I mean, the paint detail is fantastic. It's so cool that Neca actually went to the trouble of doing that. You can see this here. You can kind of see there's worn areas on the gun where, you know, your hand would be placed or whatever. It's really nice. Paint on the trigger, silver accenting there, paint there on the stock of this thing. Just really well done. Coming over to the other blaster that she has, very similar type of paintwork. You can see there that it's got a little bit of detailing there on the stock of this thing, silver paint up through the body of the weapon, and then out on the barrel, really nicely painted. Same thing on this side. I think Neca did a fantastic job. Some of the better painted weapons that I've seen come with a Neca figure. Next up, guys, we've got a book that's a couple thousand years old. We've got the Grimorium or Canorium. Now, I don't know about my pronunciation on that, but we know that we saw this book in the show. So really nicely detailed, very nicely painted. I mean, look at this thing. If you just look or glance at this thing, it literally looks like it is leather. I really can't get over what they've done here. Now, the book does have a little strap that straps across, and it will it will actually open. Now, how cool is that? So, you know, they really, really nailed this book. This book's a couple thousand years old. Look how they did the pages. It's even got nice writing on the inside of it. And then you can close it back. That is a phenomenal, phenomenal accessory. I cannot believe that they went to the trouble of actually making this thing what we would consider articulated. It would have been cool even if it was just this book and not able to open it. But they went the extra mile on this one. Now these are so big, I'm just going to show one of them because they look the same, both look the same, just one for left, one for right. But the wings look really nice. Got a lot of black wash in here. In the crevices, it's all sculpted plastic. Looks really, really good. Obviously, the wings do match the color of her body. On the back side, a little darker blue with more black shading there than what's on the inside, a little more purplish here on the inside. These look phenomenal. They are articulated where they plug in. You can see here, she does come with kind of a, almost like a smirking face there, straight out of packaging. We do get an additional head sculpt here, and this is the very angry, scary Demona that we did see a time or two in the cartoon. Now, these earrings, they are not sculpted. They are, I don't know if it's actually a little bit of metal, a little metal ring, or if it's plastic. It's really hard to tell because it's so small, but her ears are literally pierced. I don't know how well that's showing up there on my camera, but her ears are literally pierced, and the earrings are placed through those holes in her ears. It is phenomenal. And she has the same thing there, straight out of packaging on the other face as well. But I'll show you how this face goes on. This is not a full head, so it does have 2 peg holes on the back of it, and it's just going to port into the head that's already there. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later as well. So she has regular relaxed hands straight out of the box. She also comes with 2 pair of holding hands. So these would be her gun hands here, is what I would consider these. One's more like a trigger finger, and this one would be to hold the gun, you know, up toward the barrel area. And then she also comes with a pair of fist hands. All right, so let's go ahead and bring her in for a close-up here. We'll go ahead and take her off her peg stand, set that to the side. And I want you guys to get just a good look at the figure itself. So just looking at the face there, you can see it's just kind of a more chilled out face, a little bit of a smirk, I might say. The eyes are excellently painted there. The hair looks phenomenal, got a little bit of black shading throughout the hair. You can see it's kind of a little more bright on the top and a little bit of shading as you go down. So that's really, really nice. Top part of her shirt here, nicely sculpted in. It does have texture to it and really nice paint. It's painted kind of an off-white with some shades of black, kind of black accenting in some of those creases, just to kind of give it a little bit more of a dirty look. Same thing here for the bottom portion. It is the same color, so you can tell it's all made from the same cloth. Got a really nice belt here that does give off a really nice leathery look to it with the buckle painted gold. Got a little bit of jewelry out here on her bicep. The back side of that, same thing. It does have a hole here, which is where we'll put our tail. We'll do that here in just a second. And then just blue skin pretty much all the way down. There's really no black wash or accenting to the skin. It's pretty much the same from top to bottom. But just, I mean, this is one of my favorite NECA figures. I can already tell that they've done in a long time. You know, outside of Goliath. Goliath was a fantastic figure. He was probably one of my top 10 figures for last year. Let's go ahead and we'll port in the tail. So you can see we've got a port hole right there and then the tail. So we're just going to port that in just like that. And that does leave the tail to be articulated. So you can see there, the tail will articulate up and down. Now, you're probably going to need it down because, again, that tail is going to help her stand. And I'll show you how that works right now. So if we stand her there and we kind of port that tail down like that. So that's just a quick standing of her using the tail. She may even fall over here as I don't have it perfectly set up. There we go. All right, so back to the use of the NECA figure stand. So we'll go ahead, we'll apply the wings here next. So these wing tips, they are on a ratchet in here. This is a ratchet joint. They're very tough to kind of move back and forth when they're not actually secured in the body. But in order to secure them, there are 2 port holes there right on her back. So all you're gonna do, kind of helps if you just kind of move her hair out of the way, but you're just gonna port that into her back just like that. Okay, we got her face is falling off. Okay, we're gonna spin it around. We're gonna port this one in just like that. And there you go. Now her hair is a very soft plastic, so it will move around perfectly fine, and you can see it still just lays on those wings very nicely. No problem at all. The hair really does not get in the way or hinder any of that. Spin her around. All right, we had to do a little finagling there. It is tough. Once you get these wings on there, man, it is a really, really tough to kind of get them posed the way you want them because the weight is just distributed all over the place. So a Neca figure stand, I haven't really used the tail yet. I just haven't taken the time to kind of bend that tail where it needs to be to just lay flat on the ground. That'll help a lot once I get to doing that. But I really just wanted to show you guys this character as best we can here with the wings, you know, out like they are. Now we're going to get a pair of draped wings with broncs for Goliath. So I hope that Neca kind of continues to do that, because I think a lot of us collectors, shelf space standpoint, you can see this is taking up quite a lot. So I don't know how I'm going to pose these figures. Her and Goliath with their wings both spread like that, that's going to be a beast to find somewhere to put this. So I don't even know. I may even wait and just kind of pose them without the wings at first and just kind of have the character standing there. I think that would look cool as well. One thing I will show you here, that is a 12-inch ruler. So if I actually go all the way from the tip of this wing, which I know is not in the camera, and then come across to here, you're looking at a wingspan of about 17 inches. This 16-ish to 17 inches. So that just kind of goes to show you what I'm talking about here. It's a lot of space that's going to be needed for these characters with their wings posed in the fashion you currently see them in. Now, I'll show you as far as the face swap out. So it's very simple. This face pops off just like that. You can see that's a really creepy view right there. But there's two pegs in the back. This face pops off, and then this face just pegs right into those ports, just like that. Now you've got her angry face. So that's a really, really cool look right there. I just love this figure. This is so well done by Neca. Let me swap the hands out. We'll throw a gun in her hand and just kind of see how it looks. All right, guys, so there we have a gun in the hand. You can see there that gun is kind of made to, you know, kind of sit up on the shoulder, almost like more like a cannon, like a bazooka, what you would imagine. So it looks really, really good. You could definitely articulate that head to kind of look like she's looking down that sight. I mean, that is just a fantastic, fantastic setup. And then you have another gun that you can also play with and kind of pose, put in her hand. We're not going to get into all that. I don't want this review to go on too long, but what I do want to do, I want to do some size comparisons for you. Let me grab Goliath. We'll grab a couple figures for some other lines just so you guys can see those comparisons, and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so let's run through articulation really fast on her. As I said earlier, the wings, these are articulated, and you can hear super nice ratchet joint there. Those can be brought down, pulled up, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Now I'm going to remove the wings to go through the rest of the articulation. All right, with the wings removed, the wings are very tough to manage as far as moving her around, so this will be better. You can get the head down to there, tons of range of motion. Back to about right there, a little bit hindered by the hair. That face kind of wants to slide off there, but not too bad. You can get plenty of movement back and forth. Confused look, no problems. We can get these, again, this is without heating these joints, guys. These joints are really, really well done here. Get up to about right there with no problem. We do have that swivel in the bicep, double jointed elbows, and get well, well, well beyond 90 degrees. Really well done. Standard articulation in the wrist here, a little bit tight, not too bad. Back and forth, spin around, no problems. She does have articulation right here below the chest. You can see that, lots of range of motion there. You can spin it. You also have, again, I want to slide off of there. Not a big deal. I don't think that would be a problem if you weren't just constantly messing with her. Again, it holds in pretty well, you know, until I'm moving and articulating everything. But we got a spin right here at the lower abdomen. We can get out to about right there. You do have a swivel there at the top of the thigh. So that swivels very nicely. Then you've got double jointed knees here for her. Get those way up. No swivel in the knee, no swivel in the calf. You do have a lot of range of motion here in the ankles, forward, back, and then a toe pivot right here. And this toe pivot is very important because obviously gargoyles kind of stand on their toes, and that's some of the issue too with keeping them standing. And then you got a little bit of ankle rocker here, which is also much, much needed. So that is our articulation for Demona. All right, guys, so just to kind of show you the display nightmare that these two can be, here's what we got. So here's Goliath, here's Demona. I don't know how you would display these two together on the same shelf, because obviously if you put them anywhere near each other, you know, somebody, you know, is getting, that looks funny. So you can see, I don't really have to say a whole lot more to this. It's just not a good setup as far as being able to display these guys, you know, together. If, you know, I don't know how you would do it. You know, there's just no real way to do it. So the wings have got to come off, or Neca's going to have to give us some type of relaxed wing option, which again, we know they are for Goliath. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. All right, so there we got a Storm Collectibles cami figure and a standard 6-inch Marvel Legend with Weapon X. So this is a 7-inch figure scale line. So I think it looks good with the Storm Collectibles cami. Looks a little too big probably with the Marvel Legends, but again, they are gargoyles, so they could really be any size you want them to be and display with any scale figure you want to display them with because of their size. And then something I think is very appropriate, Mythic Legions. I haven't really thought about it, but gargoyles have been around for thousands of years. A Mythic Legions character would be a really cool option to pose these guys with, especially if you were like action figure photography. So there you go, a 7-inch scale Mythic Legions figure, and then we've got the Mafex Superman. All right, guys, so that is our Gargoyles DEMONA, or Demona. I'm sure I said it both ways multiple times throughout the video. You can kill me in the comments for it if you need to. However, bottom line, this is a fantastic offering from NECA. Very, very excited to have this in my collection. Will be fun to see where this figure line goes from here. Will they give us a lot of the human enemies or the human allies that the gargoyles met up with throughout the cartoon's lifespan? Really excited about it. So we'll see where we go. I'll be here to review them when those drop. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this figure. Are you able to find it, or have you been out looking for it? Hit that like button for me if you enjoyed this review video. And then lastly, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Appreciate your guys' support. Hope you enjoyed the review. Until next time.